it.
Perfect.
Okay. So before we dive into the interview, although we might just go for it.
Hell yeah.
So I came across your TikTok 4 months ago, whenever somebody was like, you got to get on TikTok, and you popped up on automatically. And the first thing I thought was, she's awake. Like she's awoke, you're on it. Right. And I started following you, and I've been just so amped up about what you're doing, how you're approaching this evolution and sharing your message. And it just lit me up. And so I've been watching you for quite a while. And then I found you on Instagram, and I was like, I need to figure this out. Tell me a little bit, because I looked at your website and it was a little confusing to me.
Yeah.
Tell me what all you have going on and what your jam is.
Oh my God, the jam is a big jam, and the big jam is in a big transition. So there's a reason.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Totally.
Okay. First, so let's do it this way.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you serve in that transition that's going on.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm so stoked to be talking to you. This is so fun. I'm so grateful. Thank you for carving out the time. Yeah. So for those of you, if this part even gets on the podcast, my name is Alexa Silvaggio, and I am a wellness entrepreneur. I'm based in Los Angeles. Everything that I teach, everything that I share really comes back to embodiment and comes back to presence. I believe that presence is really the great healer of all things, right? If we're anxious, get present. If you're living in the past, get present. If you are disconnected in some way, right? Whether it's through addiction or obsession, get present. I've been trained in several different modalities to enable myself to get present, because that's of course my mess. I find that whenever we have a mess, we turn it into a message, and it becomes an incredible thing. So I, over the years, have been a yoga teacher. I've been a meditation teacher. I've been a breathwork facilitator. I own a mindfulness chocolate brand, because a huge part of my mess was around awareness with food. I was severely anorexic for much of my 20s. And so cultivating presence around pleasure and receiving food was a huge part of my healing process. And it's something that we all hopefully do every single day. And I find, especially in American culture, everything is done fast. It's done without any sort of awareness. There's really no receptivity. I'm Italian in heritage, and it's like you go to Italy and all of a sudden dinner is not 15 minutes long, it's 3 hours long, and it's an experience, right? And so I wanted to create a scalable product that would basically teach what I was teaching at the time on the yoga mat, which is presence, awareness, whatever that looks like for you, but around food. So each bar of chocolate comes with a mindful eating practice. There's a QR code on the back that gives you a mindfulness breathwork practice that gets you into your body so that you can really receive the chocolate with as much presence as possible. So really everything I teach is about presence, whatever it is.
I love this. So there's a couple of things that really attracted me to you. One was, I'm married to a certified chocolatier. Right. And I was like, yes. Chocolate, what?
Yes.
So amazing. Yeah, that was I was on it. I was like, chocolate, yes. Mindfulness, I'm there.
Yes.
There's definitely a couple of things I want to dive into about your personal story. But I love that you brought up this dichotomy about American culture and European culture and the difference that we have when it comes to consumption. I was just listening to this amazing podcast interview with this researcher and a psychologist at Penn State. And he was talking about the difference between Americans. Our psychology around food is about taste, and the psychology of food in European cultures, especially France, that's where he's traveled a lot, is around experience. Totally. When we're operating from taste, we shovel it in because it's all about the next bite.
More.
Right. But when we're going and moving into the experience, it's about taking your time, the flavor profiles. I'm a former winemaker. My husband's a chocolatier. So we have that whole, we want the experience, but we're taught in America taste. So I've really become aware of, oh my gosh, when am I operating in experience and when am I operating in taste? But that experience thread through my life. When am I actively like trying to push it forward and get it done? When am I really being intentional with my action? So I love that you bring that in there.
It's so real. Yeah, it's amazing because the way we do anything is very much the way that we do everything. And I feel like that kind of experience versus taste does bleeds out into every other aspect of our life. And it doesn't have to be taste. It's like experience of this conversation, or like, I'm just in my head. Like I'm just here. Like this is kind of like equivalent to the just taste part, right? Or I'm like making love to someone, or I'm like thinking about the stuff I have to do. Yeah. I'm fucking somebody, or I'm, or I'm like, actually in my body and present, they're two very different experiences. And it really comes down to presence. How much presence is there in that experience, right? Am I eating it with presence and having an experience, or am I eating it while thinking about what the next bite is going to be?
I love it. And I just had a big conversation with Shelley Dryman. She was on my podcast. I was on hers, whatever, but we talked about awareness, because that's a big, like one of my 3 pillars. It is presence. And it's like, how do you get present? Well, you got to start realizing what you're thinking about. But before we dive even further into this, I want to know a little bit about your personal story, because as I was watching you, and everything that you say is aligned with what I teach and my mission in this life, except for you deliver it much differently. So I get it, but I knew that because of the depth in which you communicate with others, that you had to have a story underneath there. And I love for women to share their story, to give hope to other women for their own transformation. So tell us the snapshot of that, because, however you want to share it.
I love it. I love it. I love it too. And I think that we learn best through story rather than just, facts. There has to be an empathic connection. And so my wish is that people see themselves in me and I see myself in them. My story is not uncommon. And that's the toughest part, is that it's super, super fucking common. I was raised in a household where worth was derived from what the body could do. I grew up in a household of dancers. My mom owned a dance school. My aunt owned a dance school. My cousins danced. My siblings danced. I danced. Dance is phenomenal. It's like the best thing on the planet, unless it's where you derive your worth from. And that was definitely a part of my upbringing. And that led to a certain level of obsession with my body. I was very lucky. I worked a lot. Before the age of 18, I had traveled to like 12 countries and toured as a dancer, which is amazing. Got to college, and I didn't love it. I'd gone to boarding school, so it wasn't the far away from home factor. I didn't love my college experience. I didn't love the town. I didn't love the teachers. I didn't love really anything about it. There was a lot that was really scary for me. I had my first kind of unrequited love situation. I had teachers telling me what was wrong with my body. As far as I was a musical theater major, so I was also a singer and an actress. And I booked my first tour as a sophomore in college, which was kind of unheard of. And it really knocked me into a state of control. I was like, oh, this is a big deal. My life is really about to shift. And like when a holy shift is about to happen, we have the tendency to either really meet it or really fuck with it. And I really was scared. And so I went into control, and I deprived myself majorly of sustenance. I was about 50 something pounds less than I am now. And I'm pretty fit now. And I, lost my period, my hair fell out. I was really, really sick. And I hit my rock bottom after about a year of not seeing my family and eating about 150 calories a day. You can do some real damage. And I was on an airplane back to see my family for the first time in a year. And I knew I was thin, but I didn't know, to the extent, because you don't see yourself. I didn't see myself correctly.
Right.
And I had a book that I had for years, but for some reason just had never actually picked up. And it was Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. It's like a pretty staple self-help book. I feel like everyone kind of gets their start with that one. And I read it, and there was a part on anorexia, and it was talking about extreme self-hate and extreme self-denial. And it resonated. And, after a long time of not eating, you don't really get hungry. For some reason, on this airplane ride back, I was actually really, really hungry. And I was like, wow, that's a feeling I haven't experienced in a while. And the flight attendant came by, and, she took her card, and I was like, oh, well, I'll get a tomato juice, because at least there's kind of some calories in that. And I asked to see the nutrition label, and it had 50 calories in it. And I gave it back, and I said, I'll have a Diet Coke instead. And it was such a simple moment, but it was like, I had just seen how sick I was. I was like, oh, girl, you got a problem. This is bad. You just turned down 50 calories for a Diet Coke, and like, you haven't eaten in months. This is a problem. And I got off the plane, and my sister was there to meet me, and she saw me and like immediately started weeping and was like, what's happened to you? And so it was this perfect storm of like, I got the reflection in the book, and then I saw it, and then my sister saw it. And there was just a surrender. And that's not to say that recovery was not super fucking hard. Like, it was brutal, but there was a surrender. There wasn't a resistance to it. I really wanted to get well. And I went to my very first yoga class the next day. And it was not pleasant. It was not comfortable. But there was a level of understanding of embodiment. I was in my body. I wasn't on the outside looking in, judging it. I was actually feeling it from the inside out. And it was from that place that I was able to check in with myself. Oh, I should eat. Oh, I'm done eating. Oh, this is how I'm feeling. I'm tired. Rather than just like, this is what you do, type A, push it, get the job, do the thing. It was like, I started to be in communion with myself. And that relationship continued to grow, and it developed into other forms of communion. And I'm so grateful.
So it is really common. I have many friends who went through similar situations.
Mm-hmm.
I've never asked this of any of them, but how long did it take you to, because I can only visualize where you were at. When did you get to a point where how long did it take you to get to the point where your body hit that equilibrium and that balance of good health? It seems like it would be a very long journey.
It was. Yeah, it was. Surprisingly, it definitely took some time. The body is really smart, and it was really brutal, because you start eating again, or for me, in my experience, I started eating again, and the body goes, oh, we're in famine. So I'm going to load up a lot of weight. So I actually gained a lot of weight really fast. And which, as a recovering anorexic, was horrifying. It was exactly what I didn't want to happen. It was really, really hard. So that was tough. But it took a number of years. I would say it took a good 4 years of really like trying to relearn how to eat, and relearn how to listen to my body, and relearn how to not associate every single bit of my worthiness with my weight and my body.
I like that you are honest about that, because a lot of the time I work with women who have experienced trauma in the past, and they don't identify as a victim anymore. They're over their trauma. But the thing is that those subconscious belief systems are still running on the background, dictating their behaviors and habits.
Right.
And so they're operating from, I'm not enough. And I tell them it's a process. It's not like, oh, I have this awareness and now it's going to be okay and everything's going to start falling together. I have women that have emotionally eaten and are living in obesity. And I say, it's okay. It may take a year. It may take 3 years. It may take whatever for your body to find the balance, but it's on the journey. Right.
Totally. And I still struggle. Like there still are days where I'm like, oh shit. I'm about to start my period. I don't feel very good. Like I feel bloated or whatever. And I'm like associating my lovability with my body, but it's a conversation rather than, right. Like I'm responding rather than reacting to it.
I love it.
Hear it and be with it rather than like, oh God, I feel like this. I shouldn't eat today. It's like,
right.
No, I'm just going to sit with this discomfort. Like my ability to sit with discomfort has shifted over the years. And that is like,
right. I love it because it's really going, okay, that's just my brain telling me that it's talking bullshit to me. I can be like, that's okay, brain. I still love this body. It's the only one I have right here, right?
This body's on loan for a short while. It's like a sweet rental unit. We got to treat it like we want our security deposit back. Like it's a good body.
Right.
And it's not who we are.
It's so much. I love that you say that because I'm always telling my 10Xers and my podcast community that this physical body, this thing that you call Lynn Louise or what, Alexa, it's just a pinky finger of who we really are. That luminous eternal self is, this is the tool that we have to, experience this amazing life. I want to be in it as long as I possibly can.
Yes.
I could go out and get hit by a truck tomorrow. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to do everything I can to maintain the best possible version of myself in every moment. And sometimes that snarky inner critic comes and tries to bite you in the ass, but it is that conversation that matters.
Oh my God. And distinguishing whose voice it is, and also distinguishing what the purpose of that voice is. Like for me, when I hear that inner critic, I gave her a separate name. So it's not even me. Her name is Veronica when she comes out to play. And she's very much associated with my mother, right? That inner voice is very much her voice. But Veronica is really there to keep me safe. Like she thinks that I'm going to be more lovable if I'm thinner. So when she comes out, she's like, I'm just trying to make you lovable. She's not trying to be a bitch. She's just trying to keep me safe.
I totally love that you're calling it Veronica, like your mother, because I just did like a live in my coaching program the other day. And I was talking about how your limiting beliefs are like your parents. Their intention is well-meaning to keep you safe.
Yeah.
But man, they are just nasty. Right.
They can be so nasty. And my mother was never like that with me. She was like that with herself.
Yeah.
So my mother,
behavior.
It's her. We see it. So we do it. It wasn't, my mom was like the most beautiful creature. Her name was Lori, bless her. But, like Veronica's voice is like my mother's voice to her, and that was it.
It's something that we have been taught. And unfortunately, we have been taught it since birth. And most of the time, the nationalism, the sexism, and all this, it's taught to us with the intention of it to last a lifetime, for us to think these things about ourselves for the rest of our life. Right. That this, I can tell, and I do, that the revolution of self-awareness and the awakening has begun. And it's people like us coming together in this force of passion and just shaking up people to try and get them to understand that they don't have to live like that. And it's so beautiful to me. I'm not real active on TikTok, but I love it. Once a day I go on and I have a cachet of a few people I follow that are very inspiring to me. And it's nice to see more. I say this, my age does not define me, but young people like you on these platforms making that difference in people's life.
I love you because on TikTok, I feel not young. Everyone's like, someone commented on one of my things, who let this grandma on here? And I was like, oh my God.
For reals? Oh
TikTok
my God.
TikTok is TikTok.
What are you doing? Yeah, you don't know. It's this brilliant platform that has great value, but then it also has chaos, a bunch of shit that you're like, oh, but isn't that all platforms? The platform I'm so into right now and I'm absolutely in love with is Clubhouse.
Oh, I have not really gotten that deep into the Clubhouse world. You love it?
It's phenomenal. And the reason why I love it so much is because it's so authentic. You are talking to people. You have the ability to connect with women from all over the world. Some of them are struggling. My whole thing's limiting beliefs, right? I help women completely let go of those inner critic, that limiting belief. Some of them are struggling and want guidance. Some of them are like, yeah, I'm right there with you. You know, there's all these women that are coming together with the intention to help each other. It's brilliant. But I could see, just like every other platform, going on there and being overwhelmed. So my advice to anyone who's looking at becoming active and being part of Clubhouse is connect with somebody who inspires you in real life that's on there, so they can tell you the clubs to be part of, so they can help guide you, because there's just a lot of noise too. It's cutting out all that freaking noise. Right?
I love cutting out noise.
I know. I've cut out noise so much in my environment. I like bought one of those hand mowers. I'm just like, there's so much noise.
Yes.
They did research in even the remote areas where they would go into nature. And they've recorded and found that even in those remote areas where you are looking for true silence, like nature silence.
Yeah.
The longest amount of time was 15 minutes.
Wow.
That's pretty depressing, isn't it?
That is pretty wild.
You go a remote nature area, and how the noise, not only in our own head, but out in the environment, and how it's affecting Pachamama, the nature that grows on it. Like, yeah, it's affecting animals, but it's also affecting us.
Oh, of course. Oh my God, how could it not? Yeah, noise pollution is serious.
I know. It's
super serious.
And light pollution. It's just, I could go on and on. I could get on my soapbox, but it definitely is something. I think that as you become more intentional and more aware of yourself, you also become more aware of the connection that you have to all. Of course. That you lose this attachment to outcome, and in some aspects, this attachment that you have to your physical body, but then you begin to understand the connection that we have to everything.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Beautifully said.
God. Yeah.
Speaking of noise pollution.
Yeah.
The beautiful trucks. Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are.
I get it. I get it. I lived in San Francisco for a long time.
There you go.
I was a city rat forever. And people are like, oh, I couldn't live outside the city. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't think I would do well. But the first move, I moved to a town of 250,000. And then it was like,
it was still huge.
Yeah. And then it was like, wait, let's go smaller and smaller. And then I lived in a town that was like 1,000. And I was like, this is too small.
This is a little crazy.
I found my happy medium, which is like 8 to 20,000. That's good for me. But so I want to, before we hop off today, could you share like how people can find you? What is it that you just told me you got back from France doing a workshop, and share like how people can connect, what you do, and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. All the good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm super active, of course, on TikTok and on Instagram. I'm Alexa Silvaggio, Alexa Silvaggio. And I try to post some sort of wisdom, some sort of thing you can put in your back pocket. I always say, spirituality in a shot glass is just enough to kind of throw back and keep on trucking. I do lead workshops both in the United States and internationally a few times a year. I just came back from the south of France, and I'm planning next year's. I'm planning 2022. So stay tuned for that. I have an online platform where I teach everything from yoga to meditation to mindfulness to breathwork to journaling prompts. So kind of a one-stop shop for people to really get into their body, to get really present. And I can share the link with you for that.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes. I do have a question.
Awesome. Yeah.
Is it a platform where they join and it's videos that you've already done that are
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's a subscription-based program. And I add content every few months. And it's just anytime, any place from your smartphone or your TV or whatever. Just get to play them whenever you want, which is really nice.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's $9.99 a month or something. It's pretty
ridiculously reasonable.
Totally.
And you have your chocolate. How can people access that?
Yes, a few places. So richrituals.com, and it's RITCH as in rituals, rich rituals, rich with presence, rich chocolate, rich experience. And each bar does come with a unique breathwork practice that's deliberate to that bar. So we have like a deep dark chocolate, which is about grounding. So there's a grounding meditation practice. We have the lavender orange, which is that lavender kind of about down regulation. We have a mint chocolate, which is about kind of like re-energizing, re-engaging that cool minty flavor. So everything is very deliberate, which is nice. You can go to richrituals.com. We're also being sold currently on goop.com, Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop. They have us in their holiday gift guide, which is awesome. And then supermarkets like Erewhon or Lassen's or Earth Bar or any of those types of places, any kind of health food store.
I love it.
Yeah. So it's vegan, paleo, all the things. So
awesome. And I'll include that too in the show notes. Everything will be taken care of.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful.
I'm so excited that we came on together. I was looking so forward to this because I don't know. I was just like, I knew you were a soul sister out there.
I got you, baby. We're in it together. I love it.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh, such a gift. And thank you for just your empathy and your incredible listening and your beautiful questions. Your community is so lucky to have you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Before I let you go, just send me over like a shot that you want to include, like a whatever I like, it can just be a selfie. It can be anything that you want. Great. And just like a small bio. I don't do interviews as often as I used to, so it doesn't take me as long to edit this. Great. I will send you the link when it goes live, and then you can share it and, just send me all your links and stuff that you want to include. I keep it really casual. I think you're absolutely brilliant, and congratulations on getting in the gift bag. That's a nice accomplishment, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super stoked.
I'm really excited to try the chocolates. And
send me your address. I'll send you some.
I'll get on your guest list because that Southern France, is that where you always go, or is it somewhere different?
We mix it up. South of France, I love to go to because it's the South of France. It's wine tasting and yoga, but it's like, it doesn't suck.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of the business, but I do mix it up. Sometimes Tulum area, sometimes Italy, sometimes
just wherever you're feeling.
Go to Patagonia. So I don't know. There's all sorts of places.
Nice. Yeah, I'll get on your list. Yeah, and please. Yeah. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
In December, which I'm super stoked about. Yes.
Girl, send me that shit too. Like, I'm all about you. Like when I started hearing you talk, I was like, fuck. Like, okay, what sign are you?
It's almost my birthday. I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love you.
Yeah,
Great.
I know we do. Scorpio and Aquarius, we're like very passionate about each other. And sure. I love this whole thing that you do on, and then you like
fucking
drop the mic.
It's right? Ridiculous.
I love it. I'm like, I need a
I should have done today's interview with the mini mic. Should have just done the whole thing like that.
It's just so captivating. And I've been sharing them in my groups and stuff. Cause I'm like, it's so nice to hear somebody say the same thing differently.
Totally. And that's all I mean, all the truths are the same truths, right? Like the greatest truths are like this, so simple. And that, like, how are we sharing them?
Right. And there's so many, I notice so many coaches that are so caught up in stealing content. And I'm like, this is what I tell, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and a lot of them are healers, and, a lot of, they run the gamut, but I'm like, this shit, I don't own it, man. It's eternal truth. Take it. You're never going to teach it the way I do. Like, nobody talks like it. Take it and coach it. And the women are like, really? Like, I have branders that are like, I totally am going to use some of this. I'm like, you have to.
Should. Yeah.
We are all here. It's an army. Like, they're finally getting it. I'm like, I'm creating an army. This shit is supposed to be spread.
Right.
Like, that's the only way we're going to have $1 million women as the upper 1%.
Amen. Well said. Well said.
Okay.
So good.
I'm like all over here banging
bang it, girl. I love it. I love it.
Okay. I will keep you posted as to when it comes out. I'm so excited to get it loaded though. So it'll probably happen sooner than later.
I love it. Let me know and I'll share the shit out of it.
Yeah. And maybe we'll do it again sometime.
That'd be great. We could do a post TED Talk.
Oh, yes, definitely. When is TED Talk? December
5th in Scotland.
What part of Scotland?
I've never been. It's right outside of Glasgow. Yeah.
My husband and I have set an intention whenever we decide to do it, that we are going to relocate to Scotland, but we're thinking either Highlands or Shetland, which is a small
Shetland.
Is
it an island?
It's a cluster of islands the furthest north of Scotland, that was given to them by Norway as dowry for some queen or whatever. So it has Norwegian.
Wow.
It has Norse culture, Viking culture.
Wow.
But it's owned by Scotland. Cool. It's like far north. Yeah. So we've been thinking there, and I'm like, anywhere it has to have like internet.
Full move. Yeah. Great. Well, I'll let you know how it is. My boyfriend and I are going. It's our first trip together, so it's gonna be fun.
How long have you been dating?
Just 6 months. Yeah.
It'll be fun and fine and rainy and cold.
Yeah. Yes. I know. I'm really excited.
Yeah, that will be awesome. Oh my God. And it's gonna be streamed.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be live streamed. And then of course it'll be on YouTube like all the other TEDs.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I'm excited. It'll be
How did you manifest that? Did somebody approach you, or did
someone
you
approach me? Yeah. Honestly, the tiny mic. I'm not even fucking kidding. Someone found me on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. The tiny mic. Yep. Oh my God. I mean, that's brilliant. I hear a lot of people doing TED Talks or wanting to do TED Talks, like applying to do them, right? And then they go through all this intensive training. Did you have to go through all the intensive training and all that?
I don't think so. I mean, I definitely didn't do training. They asked me to do it. You have to do 3 meetings. Basically, they're just making sure that you have a talk prepared. Gotcha. They're making sure that and they give you feedback and they basically give you advice. I've had all 3 meetings. They were like 30 minutes. They weren't like intensive by any means.
Right.
So my TED Talk is done. I'm just memorizing it now. So
they compact it.
Yeah.
So everyone makes it sound like, oh my God, it's so hard and it's such a nightmare and you got to, and I'm like, but if you're a natural speaker.
Yeah, it's not actually, it's really not that bad. I've enjoyed the process a lot.
I'm
really
probably going to include all this in the interview because I have women that want to be speakers, but I tell you the misinformation, and this is what I tell them, because I'm helping women create a life in ease and flow, like not forcing stuff, and I'm like, it can't be as hard as all these people make it to be to get a TED Talk,
Right.
because I hear people doing it all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I think it's just, I think it is that flow. Cause I'd always had a goal of getting a TED Talk, and I just got asked, and
set your intention and become present and do what you need to do to be
just consistent in talking online. And someone was like, you're a really good speaker. Have you ever considered giving a TED Talk? And I was like, yeah, I have considered it.
Have I done anything to move forward with it? No.
Yeah, no. But like, I didn't know that you could even apply. I didn't know that was even a thing, but no. So I got asked.
Are you going to be sharing your personal story?
A bit. Yeah. There's a little bit of that. There's a lot of that. Yeah.
There's a lot of little bit of that.
A little bit. Yeah. A lot of truths.
Oh my God. Okay. This is so exciting. So everyone's going to love it. I'm going to post it as, I might even just like not edit it and just toss it up, because this is like, when I'm going to be honest, this is one of the best interviews I've done, because I have been not worried about the format. I mean, like I was like,
it's the best,
right? It's just like,
just chat.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm so
cool
grateful.
beans. Cool beans. Cool. Okay. Well, I'll be in touch. We'll do this post TED Talk again. Awesome. I love it.
Me too.
I know for your time. I don't know you well, but I'm like, I just love you.
I love you too.
It's an inherent to intuition that's just like, we are connected.
100%, sis.
Okay. Take care.
I dig it. Enjoy that chocolatier making husband.
Oh yeah. He's taking a nap right now because it's his day off, and it's rainy and cold in central New York, but I'm going to go wake him up, and we're going to go get a martini.
Oh, I love that for you. Oh my God. You're so my style. Gin or vodka?
Gin.
Same with my boyfriend.
Okay. Gin. So 47 Monkeys. Have you had it yet?
I have not.
Okay. 47 Monkeys is made with 47 different botanicals, and it's made in the Black Forest in Germany.
Okay. I will find that.
That will be his gift. Yeah. You could, it's like not even as expensive as you would think. It's probably like $50 for
a real bottle.
Yeah. And it is so smooth and so complex and so beautiful that you probably can't get it at a bar.
Right. But go to like a specialty liquor store and you can find it.
Yeah. And I never do like the, I'm one of those like classic martini girls.
Okay. Yes.
Little dry, 3 olives, maybe.
I was just gonna ask Oliver a twist. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm an olive gal too. All right. Well, now that we have that squared away, we're not only are we ready to go on a retreat somewhere, but have a martini.
Have martinis and chocolates.
Give TED Talks.
Yeah. And TED Talks.
I love it. Well, you go wake him up, girl.
I will. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Yes. Whatever it is, it's perfect.
Great.
All my love.
Cheers.
Cheers.